Welcome back to Radio Nerd America. I am Michael Diaz.
Alan Lugo here.
And we're going to jump right in. It's been a couple weeks since we've been on the air. Some things have happened. Alien Covenant came out. I did not see it.
And let's make the note here that this is Michael's favorite franchise in the history of all franchises, yet he did not go see the movie. And the reason why I knew he was going to say, so go ahead and tell us, what's the reason, Michael?
A trusted reviewer, and as well as others, basically said, if you liked Prometheus, you're going to like this. And I think it's well established, especially after our last episode with the definitive ranking of the Alien and Predator movies, that I am not a fan of Prometheus, and as such, it didn't appeal to me. That killed me.
Yeah, I mean, I was willing to go see it the first opening weekend. My wife didn't want to go see it, though, so I didn't go. I may go and check it out on my own, or at some point I might catch it on an airplane or something, but I'm open-minded into it, because I actually, if we found out in our ranking last episode, I didn't mind Prometheus, at least as far as the themes. I was willing to look the other way on the bad stuff, but I'm looking forward just to seeing it. But yeah, the reviews were not great coming out.
I will see it. It's just...
well, when, though?
That's a good question. I don't know when. Maybe if it's a rainy day and there's nothing else out and I've got $5 and I want to go see it. Maybe. Maybe at the cheap theater, maybe at a matinee. It's just... Prometheus did to me what Two Girls, One Cup did to me for the internet. Sorry, it's gross.
Yeah, I don't know.
That
not going to comment on that.
That broke me of the internet. So now, when someone says, don't watch this, it's gross, I'm like, I believe you. Same thing, Prometheus, it ruined the Alien franchise for me so much that as soon as anyone said the Alien Covenant was like Prometheus, done. I'm not interested.
Okay, well, I guess that covers that then. I mean, the other movie. Well, the big topic here for the show. Let's get into that really quick. Main topic: we're going to have a Guardians of the Galaxy recap that came out as of a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
We both saw it opening weekend, I believe.
Yep.
And then also our second topic of the show here. We're going to insert our definitive ranking list of the best sodas, which are very near and dear to the geek life.
Well, yeah, you got to have your sugar.
So those are the two big topics we're going to cover here. But going into our catch-up and current events here was... another movie was Pirates of the Caribbean that would have just came out this weekend that we're recording this, Memorial Weekend. We don't talk about it much on this show. It was one that I actually kind of forgot a little bit when we started talking about the adventure genre a couple episodes ago. Although it is a little bit more sort of fantasy than true adventure. But I thought the movies up to this point were fun. But I don't know, how long has it been, 5 or 7 or more years in between the last one until now, kind of made me lose interest.
I'm going to say... You're probably the bigger pirate fan on this one. I loved the first one. Johnny Depp brought pirate movies back in a huge way, and I loved it. I saw the second one, and I don't know, it was obviously filler to get to the third.
Mm-hmm.
So I've not bothered with the third or the fourth. This is what, the fifth?
I think this is the fifth. It's one of those ones for me, like, I don't remember like what parts were what movies. I just remember I've seen them all up to this point, I believe, and they were all pretty entertaining. But yeah, I don't know that I'll get around to watching this newest one ever.
Yeah, I will maybe someday. Possibly. Maybe.
So another Disney franchise out there that's... I'm assuming it's going to do well this weekend. It's the main release this weekend, and not many people, I think, were carrying over from Aliens last weekend. So
no, it's an entirely different audience, and Disney, I mean, they're making money. I mean, between the Marvel movies, the Star Wars movies, and this Pirates franchise... Not to mention all the Pixar movies. They're making money hand over fist, so they got nothing to worry about.
Okay, jumping to the world of DC Comics. Couple updates there. You want to talk about the Justice League update? Big
news there, which I'm sure you've already heard, but if not, Zack Snyder has dropped out of Justice League. Unfortunately, his daughter committed suicide back in March. They didn't go public with it, and they really didn't need to, but he felt the need, now that they're in post-production, that he just could not give the film the attention it deserved. I mean, it's a tentpole for this November, so he has bowed out. The interesting part here is that Joss Whedon, who was the architect of...
Your boy, by the way.
I do love Joss, I admit that. Well, look what he did with Phase 1 and, a good chunk of Phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even though he only directed Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron, he was also a script doctor and kind of guide for the movies that came after the first Avengers. He got paid for that as well. So a lot of the success of the Marvel Universe rests on Joss Whedon's shoulders. He's moved on. He's now working for the distinguished competition. And
the B team, I like to call them.
The B team. And it's interesting. I mean, the film has already been done. It's been directed. It was, they're doing a couple reshoots. They're adding some story elements, but it's not going to be a Whedon movie. He might be able to punch up a few scenes that they're filming now, but he's going to have to maintain whatever tone that Snyder had brought to the movie already.
So Justice League is in November, you said?
Yes.
And then, so we have Wonder Woman coming up, which is kind of a segue here between these two DC franchises. Wonder Woman, I think, is coming up in a week or two at most here. Is there anything between now and then? Or the Aquaman is after Justice League, and that was the only other one on the...
Yep, Batman's still in pre-production. So
there's like a Shazam movie, but that's not for like a year and a half or something, right?
At least.
Yeah.
So, the next movie is Wonder Woman, and basically, I think DC has put a lot of hopes on them. Yeah, they made a bunch of money last year with Suicide Squad, but critically it was panned.
Well, yeah, and so far, early reviews and early stuff on Wonder Woman is that it's supposed to be pretty good.
I'm excited for it.
I mean, it seems like there's a lot of people excited for it. Not so many people like me that are like, I don't care because it's DC.
My girlfriend, Shaylee, wants to see it that opening weekend. She loved Linda Carter in the 70s. She is super excited. This is the first comic book movie that she's been legitimately... I mean, she's been excited for other ones, but this one's her. This is her hero that speaks to her.
So you're gonna have to... She's gonna have to really talk you into that one. That's gonna be a $35 date.
No, she shouldn't have to talk me into it. I'm actually interested. I've heard a lot of comparisons that because it's a period piece, similar to the first Captain America movie, it really works in that aspect. So it's not a tough sell for me. I've been very impressed with the trailers thus far. I think this is the one they're doing right.
Well, I wasn't saying so much that it was a tough sell because of the movie, but you're notoriously known for not liking to pay full price for new release movies.
She already did say we could go to the $5 morning show, so it might only be like a $20 movie with popcorn and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay, so I think, I'm excited about Wonder Woman a little bit, I'll say, because I feel like it doesn't have the potential to lay a big egg like some of the other ones did. So, I'd like to get them back on their feet. I'd like to get them pushing Marvel for some competition, but like I said, I probably won't see it. I'll probably watch it on an airplane 3 or 4 months later or something like that.
That's fine. And that's really kind of our spin on DC this week. And though we're not really here for this purpose, I just wanted to throw out the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. Like I said, it was Zack Snyder's daughter that committed suicide. So anyone out there listening, if you need help, just 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. If you need help, there's someone out there for you. Just wanted to throw that out there.
So the next couple topics here, jumping into the Netflix world, you want to talk about one in particular here?
Yeah, I want to just touch base on Black Mirror. I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm sure I'm way late to the party from people raving about this show. I have decided to jump in. I didn't start with episode 1. I will, but more than a single friend, I had a few people actually say that the episode 3, or season 3 episode, San Junipero, was by far the best episode in the entire series. So I watched it a couple weeks ago for the first time, and it really hit me emotionally. And then today I had Shaylee watch it. She enjoyed it, but by the end I was ugly crying. That's how.
So what's the premise of this show? I mean, I see it on my little Netflix menu, but I've never really looked into it much, and I've heard of it. But
I think the simplest way is kind of like a Twilight Zone, a modern Twilight Zone, but that's not 100% accurate in that it has more to do with how technology affects our lives now and in the future. The reason it's called Black Mirror because if you take a cell phone and turn it off, the screen is a black mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's set in present day or it's set in the future?
The episode I watched was set in the future.
Okay.
Didn't say how far, but the near future. Probably the next 20, 30 years.
So you're into it now. You're going to jump back to season 1, episode 1 now?
Yep.
Or?
I'm gonna start at the beginning. I was so impressed with that episode. Even though I heard it's the best, so maybe I won't be as enthralled with the rest. But it sold me on the series. I want to see where else it goes. So I'm into it.
Okay, and I'm going to jump back to the Marvel galaxy of Netflix here, which is We talked a little bit about this a couple episodes ago, the Defenders Galaxy sort of thing.
Yep.
Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Punisher, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. So I finished watching the Iron Fist series, and, I got to be honest, I think it's probably right there with maybe Daredevil, I don't know, Luke Cage. I thought it was really good.
Really?
I think a lot of the sort of whitewash talk and whatever, I think was greatly overblown on this series. Again, I think if it's a thing that if you can look past that, I thought it was quite entertaining. Now, let me say this though, it does have the problem, and maybe because it was the newest one, it's suffering more from this. Every single one of these series on Netflix Marvel, you have to sit through 5 or 6 episodes of the hero deciding if he wants to be the hero or not.
Right.
And that gets old. And it definitely got old in this one, but it wasn't any different than any of the other ones. So I don't want to hold that specifically against Iron Fist. And then on top of that, that was probably the main thing that bugged me about it. And, there's a weird thing going on in that universe that Rosario Dawson's character seems to be the leader of, but there's other people doing it too, that they're just like, oh, don't kill him. We have to turn him into the authorities.
Right.
And that's getting old too, because it's just, I don't know what they're trying to do there. I mean, these are TV MA rated.
Right.
So I'm not sure why they're pushing that so much. That's kind of bothering me too. But that's, again, two things that are just, I'm getting hit for it for the 5th time in Iron Fist, but it's in all the other ones as well. But outside of those complaints, I thought it was a great series. I really enjoyed it.
See, you're much farther ahead than I am. I'm only a couple episodes in. I've liked it so far. I don't see, at this point, like I said, I'm only 2 episodes in, so I haven't seen the complaints yet that people have had that it was just the worst show yet. But I do hear where you're coming from. So we've had Iron Fist, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage, and then we have the Defenders coming yet. But you're right. Every episode has to start with, I have these powers, but I don't want to be a hero.
Yeah.
How am I going to make that? Well, maybe not so much Daredevil. He obviously he kicked ass right at the beginning, but he still had to find his hero way, and he didn't even get the costume to the final episode of season 1.
His version of that problem was much more drawn out and kind of ebbed and flowed. It was still there, but not in the same way. But yeah, I mean, Iron Fist, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was some of the best acting in that series. I thought there was 3 or 4 characters in that series, and you'll know more when you get into it all the way, but I thought there was 3 or 4 characters in that series that are really well written and acted. And I really liked it.
Because you liked it so much, I think I'm going to push through and get through that.
Yeah, and it was the one I feel like, again, throwing my wife's opinion in here, I think she enjoyed that one more than any of the other ones we've watched. She's watched all of them pretty much along with me. I think she enjoyed that one the most.
Really?
Couldn't tell you exactly why, but I think it just, I liked it. I thought it was really interesting.
All right, I'm going to check it out.
Okay, so that's going to wrap up our little current events intro segment of the show here, and we're going to go into the bumper music, and when we come back, we're going to have our review recap of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
All right.
What makes you think you can bullshit your way into my head? Like every other pencil-neck piece of shit!
Okay, we are here now to discuss Guardians of the Galaxy 2. If you're listening to this now, I'm sure you've seen it already. If not, I do give it a thumbs up. I think it's worth seeing.
Yeah, two thumbs up on my side for sure.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. And what's your favorite moment from the movie?
Well, there's a lot of great moments in this movie. I really love the character Rocket Raccoon. So I thought he had some great moments. Obviously, I think everybody loves the Baby Groot moments. I'm trying to think specifically, but I think it was probably, I don't know, actually. There's a lot.
I'll jump in here. My favorite, I don't want to say favorite moment, but I think my favorite moments were every scene with Drax. Drax in the first movie, I liked him.
Yeah.
How literal he was. There's more of that. I actually liked him the most in this movie. Like, out of all the characters. I mean, everyone else was fun too in the first movie. And don't get me wrong, I liked the first movie a lot. But Drax, for me, was the standout in this movie. Just
Yeah.
every line he had, which I knew they were coming.
Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, he did do a pretty good job in this movie. Like I said, Baby Groot was more just sort of punctuation, comic relief in a way.
Oh, I loved Baby Groot. He was adorable and so much fun, especially during the scenes where he was trying to get basically to get the guys out of the prison cell and he kept going to get things.
Oh yeah,
coming
yeah.
back.
No, you know what? That might have been my favorite moment of the movie. That was a pretty good.
That
scene
was
there.
hilarious. But I think for me, when Drax at the end tells Mantis that she's beautiful, but on the inside, it's so mean. And earlier when he says, "Oh, you're hideous,"
Yeah. No, I mean I think it was a really great moment too when they, what's her name, Gamora was trying to recall a story that Star-Lord had told her about David Hasselhoff and Knight Rider.
Yes.
And she was like, Hasselbrow and his magical boat or something. And he was like, no, it's David Hasselhoff, and it was a Trans Am.
I think that's another strong aspect of this movie. It's about family. Even though we're only at 2 movies in now, and this weird group of people or creatures and whatever.
Ragtag bunch of characters.
Yes, thank you, Ragtag. They got together just the last movie, and already this movie takes place 3 months after the first one chronologically, and it's about family, and it feels real. There was less focus on this one on Peter Quill, Star-Lord, I thought. He was kind of the crux of the last one. I mean, he's still the main story of this movie, whereas the first one is about loss of his mother and trying to find his place in the galaxy, and this one finding his father, but then having to reject that father. Spoiler alert. We're 2 weeks in, if you don't know by now.
Yeah, and I read an article, it was probably on IO9, but all the similarities sort of between this and The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
So, but one of the main ones, and I don't want to get too deep into that article, but is they basically split the team up, right? A little bit into
Just
the movie.
like Empire, yes.
Right, they split them up, which made it interesting. So you sort of had Star-Lord and his father and Gamora and Drax. And then you had Rocket and Groot and the other sort of kind of add-in characters, Gamora's sister, I forget her name.
Oh, yeah.
And then sort of, what's his name? Merle from Walking Dead. He was kind of on their side too for a while. So It kind of split off into 2 settings, and that made it interesting. Yondu. So he played a pretty good role here too. He kind of played the sacrifice role.
I'm going to, spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie, stop listening now. I was about 75% expecting for him to live. Like, yes, he died, and it was a very emotional moment, and I thought something would happen where, surprise, he's alive.
Yeah.
No, they sent him off. The movie is, like you said, the movie is very much Empire Strikes Back in that, where they split everyone up. Everyone's doing their own thing. It's a little darker. But that funeral scene was very Star Trek 2.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. I was surprised by how emotionally invested I was in this film.
Yeah, they kind of tugged at the heartstrings quite a bit on this one. And I liked...
I didn't expect that.
No, maybe not me either. And I also was relatively pleased with how they handled Ego, the Living Planet.
Yes.
Because, I mean, what I knew from him from old trading cards and comic books was like, I just knew him as a planet.
Right.
So when they said, it's going to be Kurt Russell and he's going to be in human form, I kind of was unsure about how that was actually going to happen. But the way it played out and the way they explained it made a lot of sense. I thought they did a good job there.
That was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
And then you even got that one shot where you were looking at the planet with the face on it.
Yes.
Which is what I recognized from the comics back in the day. So that was good. Some other little, I don't want to call them Easter eggs, but as we transition into maybe the post-credit scenes, but we saw the Watchers.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, which was really cool because that's part of the celestial world of the Marvel Universe, right? The Watchers, Ego, the Living Planet.
And the rumor has been for a while now that Stan Lee was possibly a Watcher. That's why he
pops up.
Now we see that he's not. But he reports to the Watchers.
Yeah, reports to the Watchers.
Close enough.
Close enough, yeah. So some of the end credit scenes. Yondu's second command guy basically gets the flying dart with the headpiece and starts working on it. That was one of them. Pretty straightforward there.
You have the scene with Stallone and
yep.
his group getting together, which that was another Easter egg for someone who has been into Marvel Comics for a while.
Mm-hmm.
would have recognized that was the original incarnation of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and I had to get caught up on that when I read it online, but so because I knew when they were showing those guys, I'm like, okay, these guys must be of some importance. Why would they, be calling them out like this or showing them like this? So
did you catch the Miley Cyrus cameo?
I don't think so.
So when this group gets together, Stallone's group, there was that it looked kind of like a radio thing. It was a computer and it talked. The voice was Miley Cyrus.
Oh, okay.
People. I was like, really? All right.
And then there might be one or two we're forgetting because there was some sort of... Oh, wasn't there another Howard the Duck one in there? Or was he just in the movie?
He was in the movie.
Okay.
You had Teenage Groot. That was one of them.
Oh, Teenage Groot. Yeah, that was an interesting one. I don't think it'll be as fun as Baby Groot or as cute. But
no, but it was funny, though, because having Peter take on the father role now.
Yeah. But the big one, though, is the Adam Warlock, right?
Yes.
So that sort of reveal at the end. Everybody knew that he was coming at some point. Not exactly sure how or when, but so we know that's coming. And I think I read somewhere that they said that he would not be in Infinity War. It may be until Guardians 3 or something like that he actually really manifests himself.
And that's fine, because really the whole reason he exists is basically to take down Thanos. So if he shows up in Infinity War, then what the heck?
Yeah,
what's the point of the Avengers?
Infinity War has more than enough going for it right now.
Yeah,
it doesn't need. I mean, that would be a very DC move to shoehorn him in there. No
one can tell how you feel about DC at all. No one.
And then, just in general, better than the first, do you think?
Here's what I say. A lot of people have been saying that the first one was fantastic. This one was good, not great. I'm going to take a different tack on this one. I enjoyed the first one. Not as much as most people did. I think I've said before, the summer it came out, another movie came out. The Tom Cruise sci-fi movie.
Oh yeah, you love that. You love that movie.
I admit I love that movie. For me, that was the best movie that summer. So, that said, I enjoyed this movie, and I think based on the fact that this movie resonated more emotionally for me, I mean, I admit, maybe it's not manly to say this, but I got choked up a little bit. So
you must be hitting that point in life. I mean, Black Mirror's choking you up.
I know.
Guardians 2 choking you up.
It's always tears with me. And I admit, it went to emotional places I wasn't expecting out of a comic book film. So I'm going to say for me, I preferred this movie because I connected emotionally more to it than the last one.
I prefer the first one. I think the first one was better, and here's why. I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy did such a great job of sort of, if you think of it as an episode in a series, this Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 did so much progression of the universe in one episode, one movie.
I can see that.
This one, I very much enjoyed. It's up there as one of my favorites for sure. I just don't know how much it really progressed the universe. I don't know that it got us any closer to anything for Infinity War. Aside, if you take the Adam Warlock end scene out at the end, Ego Living Planet kind of came and left. None of these things are problematic to me. I just thought that the first one was really strong with progressing the universe, and it was a lot of fun.
And I'm okay with that, because sometimes you have to do that. But sometimes, like in Age of Ultron, where it was mostly, I thought, moving pieces into position for the next films, it felt like a lackluster film. So, that said, I agree with you 100% that the first Guardians moved the story forward, because Thanos is actually in it, and he's trying to get the whatever stone he was in that film, and obviously it's all building up to Infinity War. I liked the fact that this one kind of took a step back to just be its own movie.
Yeah, it's kind of a standalone. It doesn't. You can watch it and not need to know what's going on with the other films. So I mean, that's very good for this movie. They're both great, but I'd still prefer the first one over this one. But they're both really good.
I agree in that they're both really good. Like I said, this one, you could ask me tomorrow and I'd change my mind.
And to be honest, I saw this one once. The first Guardians of the Galaxy, I've only sat down and watched the whole thing all the way through once. I've seen a bunch of segments of it here and there when it was on HBO or something, but it's one of those movies that if I don't have time to sit down and watch beginning to end, I wasn't going to watch it. So having only seen them both once, they maybe need repeated viewings, but the first one definitely sticks in my head more. I mean, the music was great in this one again.
Yeah, but even no matter how great it was and how great it could have been, the first one was the one that really got that ball rolling. So it's going to get points for originality right there.
Yeah, exactly. The first is the first. So I think we both give it 2 thumbs up.
Yes.
We both enjoyed it. We both actually went and saw it opening weekend, so that shows how excited we were for it.
Yes.
That doesn't happen very often. We find out between the two of us. So that wraps up our recap there. Heading out of the segment here, we're going to jump into a segment we recorded a while ago. We've kind of held it, waiting for the right time, but we're going to talk about our definitive list of soda, or pop, as it's called in Michigan.
Yes, in Michigan is pop. Maybe in Atlanta you guys call it Coke. The rest of U.S. soda, pop, Coke, whatever you call it. We're going to call it pop because we live in Michigan.
And this was one of the more fun lists we have, and I think there's some pretty big controversial moments in these lists between Michael's and mine. So you're going to want to stay tuned for this one.
All right.
Welcome back. We have a segment that we like doing, and that's where we do our 1 to 10 list, or 1 to 10 scale. I know I misspeak a lot and call it the top 10, but it's not a top 10. We need to rank things that are truly a 1 out of 10, really bad, to a 10 out of 10, which is amazing. And this topic is something I think is near and dear to nerds and geeks. I think we've all spent many nights playing video games, reading comic books, playing toys with our friends or by ourselves, drinking soda.
Yeah, we're Americans. We need to have something.
American geeks.
Right. Well, yeah. Just flat out American. We have to have way too much sugar with every meal.
And I think it's also a little bit tied to you're very much Gen X. I'm the borderline millennial Gen X. I think we grew up with sugary sodas. So we're going to do our 1 to 10 scale of sodas, the world of sodas. Or really, if we're from Michigan, we call it pop, right?
Correct. We're in Michigan. It's pop.
It's pop.
But
so,
if you're not from Michigan and you listen to us, and you're like, what the heck are they talking about? Fine, call it soda.
Soda. So we're going to start at the bottom, the things that we think are the worst, right?
Yes.
So you want to lead us off?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I feel passionately about this one.
So do I. Go ahead.
Squirt.
Oh, man. Good one. I forgot about squirt. No, it's not on my list, but you're right. That is somewhere near the bottom. I mean, I don't know how anybody... When I meet somebody that likes squirt, it's the equivalent of meeting somebody who's never seen Star Wars to me. It's just like, how?
Maybe it's good for mixed drinks or something. I don't know.
True, I could see it as a mixer.
But, yeah, I had a friend in high school who had a squirt shirt. That's how much he liked it. And, nope. I mean, if there's nothing else, not even ice water.
Yeah, to be fair, I knowing now that I had forgotten squirt, because we do this off the cuff. We just did this. We decided to do it 15 minutes ago, and we did the list in 15 minutes, and now we're reading them out. So I wouldn't put it at 1, but it's way down there on my list for sure. Because 1 is firmly entrenched with Werner's.
How dare you, as a Michigander.
I know. And there's people that come to town and they're like,
What?
oh, I got to take home a case of that. Now, Werner's is a type of what, ginger ale sort of?
Ginger ale, yes.
I have no need for that nonsense.
Born and raised in Detroit.
I have no need for that. It's almost like it's not even a soda. It's almost like it's a some sort of I don't know what it is. It's like a medicine.
Do you like any ginger ale?
No, I don't like ginger ale at all.
Obviously. What?
It's worse than squirt.
Wow, listeners, I am stunned. I don't know how someone born and raised in the Mitten State can cast shade upon Werner's.
Yeah, it's terrible. So I don't want to give too much away. Is Werner's in your list somewhere?
No, but now I feel it should be.
Okay, so as you move along, you're going to have to say where you think Werner should be, since you disagree with me as the 1 out of 10, which is the lowest you can be. Okay, so what's your number 2?
7-Up.
Oh, man. Okay, so you're really not... I mean, we'll see. Maybe you'll redeem yourself, but you're not into the citrus stuff, apparently. Or at least not of that ilk.
Here's the funny thing. It doesn't exist anymore. Meyer used to do Meyer, for those of you that are not from Michigan, is a grocery chain here. So they do their own brand sodas as well.
Yep.
They're knockoffs. They actually had what they just called grapefruit soda. which was their
But
knockoff
isn't
of
that
Squirt.
Yeah, Squirt. Yeah.
Loved it.
Oh, okay.
But Squirt, no. So 7-Up, it's fine.
Well, but 2?
All I ever use 7-Up for is mixed drinks.
Yeah.
7 and 7. That's about all.
No, I will say that it's a great mixer. So okay, my number 2, any diet soda.
I see.
Any diet soda. You could take my number 10 of 10, the perfect score, and make it diet. Boom, number 2.
You know, I am a large man, so I try not to. Even though a bunch of studies say that diet sodas are not any better than
No, they're
regular
not.
soda.
They don't. I'll jump on that bandwagon right now. Just give it up. You're not going to lose any weight by drinking diet soda.
But
You're telling yourself a lie, man.
I know that. But that said, I can give up some of it. Oh, you're.
I mean, I kind of felt bad because I labeled them all, but to me, anything that has that artificial sweetener, Coke Zero, anything that's
cut to the
Splendid,
quick, Alan.
any of it, it's
Cut to the
all
quick.
the same to me. It's like you shit in my drink.
What are you eating?
It's the artificial sweeteners.
Are you eating aspartame?
Yes, artificial sweeteners have no place in my beverages.
Wow.
Okay, you're number 2.
Sprite.
Yeah. So
Wait,
again,
number three.
no, okay, you're number 3 now. So yeah, you're putting, I mean, all citrus 6 to the bottom like a stone for you, citrus drinks. But
Seriously, I
Sprite.
like-
And so I would say though, let's lay some ground rules here. Well, too late for ground rules, but to me, Sprite and 7-Up, they're kind of kissing cousins, right? You could kind of put them in the same
But
vein.
Sprite's better.
Okay.
It has more of that lemon. I don't know if it's more lemon, more lime, whatever it is, but something for me makes it better than 7-Up.
Okay. Fair enough. Number 3 for me, which is still like something I don't like by any means, cream soda.
Really?
Yep, just don't care for it and don't like any of the cream soda flavored candies or any of that.
Interesting. I do have cream soda on my list.
It's just too sweet, way too sweet for me.
All right, I can respect that.
Okay, so you're up to number 4.
Fago vanilla cream soda. But here's the thing. I'm gonna say this right now. My top 10 skews more to the likes to the love. So I don't mind Sprite. I will drink it. Fago vanilla cream soda is a pleasant thing for me. So I'm not putting it at 4 to knock it down. There's just so much more above that I love.
Yeah. So for me, that's where same thing for me. 1, 2, and 3, I just flat out won't drink. 4, now we start to get into stuff that I actually find enjoyable, but I just only from time to time, which is Fago Rock and Rye.
That's too low.
See, now here's the thing.
But you know that's a cream soda, right?
Yeah, but it's sort of right because it's dark.
But it's still a cream
Well,
soda.
it's not called cream soda. It's something different.
Okay. Well, you keep talking. I'm
Look,
going on the internet.
anyways,
because I think officially it
I'm
is a
not.
cream soda.
I'm not telling you it's not. Fago has their own cream soda, so I mean, unless you're saying vanilla cream soda, and this is straight. But anyways,
Fago Rock and Rye, the original cream cola.
cream cola.
It's a cola, but it's also cream.
That's why it's a 4. So it's got
all
an
right.
interesting flavor. I find that thinking about it, it's much better in hindsight and in memory than it is when you actually have one. Because I go a few years before having one, and I'm like, oh yeah, Rock and Rye. First drink, great. Second drink, kind of great. Fifth drink, okay, I don't want this anymore.
Have you ever had a Rock and Rye float?
I believe I have, but not very often.
Just the fact that you did not light up and were enthralled by the idea of having a Rock and Rye
But Rock
float.
and Rye, and obviously Fago is a Michigan brand. It has wider distribution. Rock and Rye, so I like it, but yeah, I don't drink it very often.
Let me just throw in real quick. We're number 4. I know I said Fago vanilla cream soda. This is where I would slot in Verner's. I would not have it.
You would have it equal as 4 with cream
Yes.
soda. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, way too high for that. Okay, so you're getting to your number 5 now. 5 out of 10.
Mountain Dew.
Ooh. Okay. I'm surprised. Mountain Dew usually is either you're all in or you're all out.
Here's where we're going to have another point of contention. I actually prefer Diet Mountain Dew to Mountain Dew because it's too syrupy. But
For those of you that don't know, I'm just shaking my head in silence right now.
Diet Mountain Dew tastes most like Mountain Dew, but without being so crazily syrupy. I have a case in my car right now. I drink a Mountain Dew every morning.
You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just letting you babble while I simmer down.
Some people drink coffee in the morning. I sip a Diet Mountain Dew every morning.
Oh, that's foul. Okay, let's move on. Let's cleanse our palate of that.
What you got? Number 5.
My number 5, Faygo grape soda.
Really?
Yep. Again, it's so sweet, so sweet.
Yeah.
So I rarely drink this, but once in a while, because there's many kinds of grape soda, right? Fanta and Crush and all that. But to me, the Faygo grape soda is a great one.
Crush. Sorry, I just had a little minute there, a little moment where I had to reminisce.
So yeah, Faygo grape soda is pretty good in that middle of the range for me once in a while.
All right.
And let me go again here because I had to slot a couple in, so I included a 5.5.
Oh well.
So before you get to 6, I got to do my 5.5.
Go for it.
Which is mug root beer. Now, I almost wanted to just say root beer in general, but there's so many varieties, and really, I guess if I like A&W, but it's too sweet, but I do love it.
What about Barks?
Barks is too much bite.
What?
I take the thing that they claim is their claim to fame, and it's what hurts them with me. So Mug is
That's why I like Barks.
Mugs is nice in the middle. Now I like Barks too, but to me all of those are 5.5. But it just goes Mug, A&W, then Barks. But they're all tied together.
I'm not going to fight this too much because I have to be in the mood for root beer.
Yeah. It's just kind of right. You got to be in the mood. Okay, so what do you got for 6?
Code Red Mountain Dew.
Which they don't make in diet, do they?
They do, but it's harder to find.
Yeah. So
Thank
God. So you're not there to drink it.
No, yes, I do drink it. When I find Diet Code Red Mountain Dew, I buy it because it's not everywhere.
Unbelievable.
Side note: did you know you can't get Diet Mountain Dew in Canada?
I didn't know that.
It's not allowed.
Yeah. Well, did you know? What's the other thing you can't? There's no cherry Coke in Canada.
What?
There's no cherry Coke in Canada. I remember when Shay Lee and I used to work together, we had some Canadian people we worked with a lot in the Canadian office, and I remember talking to them about cherry Coke, and they're like, "What?" I thought it was a joke. So no, they don't have cherry Coke either. Like they know of the idea of like, okay, I'll put some grenadine in my cola, but
That's
like there is
better.
no cherry
Yes.
Coke.
I'm making all kinds of faces here because that just doesn't
No,
seem right.
I did the same thing too. I did the same thing. So okay, wait, what did you just wait? Where are we at now? We got on this Canada tangent,
We're at 6.
and you said
Code Red Mountain
Dew, non-diet, so I don't have to.
But I do like diet.
Yeah, Jesus.
I prefer the diet.
So my 6, this is where we can see things start to flip-flop, which I want to note, by the way, Mountain Dew you had at 5. That was your highest citrus soda, I've noticed. I'm just starting on citrus tier. My 6 is 7-Up.
Oh.
So now I have.
What?
Now I didn't discriminate really too much between the types. So to me, 7-Up, Sprite, and Sierra Mist are all cut from the same cloth. But I prefer 7-Up of the 3. And to be fair, I use it a lot as a mixer with juices, things like that. But I'll drink it on its own. It's good when you have a sore throat.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Sort of an elixir.
Why wouldn't you use Verner's? Because at least with Verner's, it has some ginger in it that does have actual medicinal qualities.
Well, like I said, it tastes like a medicine. That's why I don't like it to drink it for pleasure.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you're at so I have a 6.5.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to squeeze it in there before you get to your 7. 6.5 is cherry Coke. Again, not found in Canada apparently.
You know, because we do these on the fly, I have forgotten some, and I did not include cherry Coke, which I enjoy very, very much. So I made a mistake.
Okay, so tell us where you would slot it in when you get there. But it's not. I like it. We're getting up to the higher end of the scale, so I like it. But there's definitely a few things in front of it. So you're at 7 now.
At 7, Pepsi. It's a solid cola. But and now that I realize that I missed cherry Coke, I would slot that in here as well.
Now, I mean, I hate to ask this question to sully this great conversation we're having, but when you say Pepsi and all these other things, do I have to assume you mean Diet Pepsi?
No.
Okay,
The only ones
God.
that I prefer diet are the Mountain Dews because they're too syrupy, and I'm going to keep saying that. Other than that, no more diets.
Okay, so you had Pepsi at 7. At 7, I had Pepsi.
There you go. We agree.
So when I get to my number 8, we'll come back to the Pepsi conversation a little bit. But okay, so what do you have for 8?
I have 2 for number 8.
Okay.
Faygo Rock and Rye.
Oh man, yeah, you have that pretty high.
Yeah,
That you're fond of that.
I love it. I just had some this weekend. It's a little slice of heaven in my mouth. But I also have listed with Rock and Rye every other Coke.
Every other Coke.
You'll see why.
From Coca-Cola, you mean, or
Just
is there more to be?
no. Like either Coke in a glass bottle, Coke in a can, Coke in a fountain.
I see where you're going with this.
I think you're gonna see where my number 2 is
Well-
gonna be. Maybe my number 1, but
Well, your number 10, you mean, or your number 9?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, so that was your 8?
8. Rock and Ryan. Every other Coke.
So my 8 of 10, 80th percentile, is McDonald's Fountain Coke.
You son of a bitch. We're gonna have words. Actually, I can't.
So I prefer Pepsi over Coke in all other
What?
cases. In
No.
all other cases, I prefer Pepsi over Coke, which is why I hate going when I go to Asia, because I swear the only soda they have over there is Coke and Coke Zero. But
Did not know that.
McDonald's Fountain Coke is just something special about it, right? I prefer that over Pepsi.
Well, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Because I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my number 9, because it's McDonald's Coke.
Yeah. I mean,
So I rate it a little bit higher, and you're right. I don't know. I've heard everything from it's because the McDonald's straw has a larger gauge, that they put more carbonated water, there's higher carbon content.
Yeah. The syrup is a special formula.
Right. Or, yeah, I've heard that too. Someone told me that McDonald's gets delivered their own special mix of the Coke.
Yep.
And I've even heard it's because they chill the lines. Who knows what it is?
Something special about it, though.
A McDonald's Coke is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I never crave a Coke, only once in a while. McDonald's. Now, when a certain craving strikes us, this McDonald's Coke could be a 10. It could be the thing that I want over all other things, but overall, it's not.
What you got then?
So wait, that was your 9?
That was my 9.
Okay,
so you're 9. You're 9. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so my 9, and this is really a toss-up between the McDonald's Coke, really, more that I think about it, but it's 2, because they're kissing cousins again, Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb.
Really?
Yeah, I really like Dr. Pepper and its 32 flavors or 23 flavors or whatever it is.
I completely forgot about those.
Well, it must not be your number 10 or 9, so just really quickly, where would you slot those?
I went through a phase in college where there was... it sounds like I'm going to tell a story about having my homosexual encounter. I went through a phase...
Or heroin.
No, right, oh, yeah. God. No, I went through a phase in college where I was Mr. Pibb. Every day I got home from class, I opened my little mini fridge and cracked open a Mr. Pibb, and it was heaven. I don't know why I got away from it. Man, I don't know. I put it... It's got to be my 4 or 5.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's high, it's up there, but it's not something I can have a lot of. Like, I can only have, like, a Dr. Pepper. I mean, as I get older, I almost feel like once every 2 weeks. It's like, I can't have too much of it, but it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 10 of 10.
10 of 10.
Score. Perfect score.
Best thing you can ever put in your mouth, soda-wise. Mexican Coke.
Oh, see...
Don't even disparage it.
I don't want to disparage it, but I just... Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the cane sugar versions of the sodas.
Less syrupy.
Yeah, it's just... we're getting into the minutia there, and that's what I don't like. Because, you're bringing in a whole nother layer here.
Mexican Coke is where it's at.
Yeah.
Second...
I mean, look, let me put a stake in the ground here. It's not better than McDonald's Coke.
It is.
I think you've bought into this aura that people have created about Mexican Coke in some way, shape, or form. Especially it just doesn't make sense. You got Mexican Coke ahead of regular McDonald's Coke, but then you like Diet. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
You don't like burners.
This is like one of these sci-fi theories that don't make sense that you just love. I don't get it.
You're from Michigan and you don't like burners, so my opinion is not any less valid.
Okay, no problem. So number 10 for me, maybe you could guess because it's been left out to this point, is Mountain Dew. 10 of 10.
Really?
The best. Mountain Dew. I probably, I don't drink a ton of soda. People think of me as drinking a lot of soda. I have a soda at lunch, and that's pretty much it for me. But 9 times out of 10, I'm having a Mountain Dew at lunch.
Really?
Well, maybe 7 out of 10, but it's definitely the front runner. I can have Mountain Dew without getting sick of Mountain Dew.
I enjoy Mountain Dew, but I prefer Diet.
Yeah, I mean, Livewire. I mean, like you said, there was a
period.
There's a period in college where I was on a Livewire stint, and Code Red was not bad, and Baja Black, but no, I mean, it's the original.
It's good. I'm not gonna fault that.
And this is where I'm going to have to bring in, I do love in the summer when I go to outdoor events in the summer, I'll stop at a gas station and buy the glass bottle Mountain Dew with the cane sugar.
It's better.
It's even sweeter to me in the Mountain Dew form, but I do like it. I prefer the glass bottle Pepsis. I really like those too. But
like I said, for my number 8, I like a glass bottle Coke, and if we're gonna get really specific, so like I said, I drink a Diet Mountain Dew for morning every day.
That's terrible.
Well, the reason being because I'm a large man and I shouldn't drink that much soda. I try.
That diet's not making any difference.
I know
man,
that.
I'm telling you.
I know, but I'm lying to myself.
You're a masochist, is what you are.
I'm lying to myself. But if I had my druthers, if I could have anything I wanted for breakfast every
Were you
morning,
going to say if I had my druthers?
yes. Because I'm an old man. If I had my druthers, yes, there you go. I would have coffee is okay, but I would love an ice cold can of Coke for breakfast every morning. But I can't do that because I'm fat.
So you talked about we touched a lot on different types of Cokes here. What's the worst type of Coke delivery? To me, it's plastic bottle Coke is the worst.
Yes, I agree.
Just way too much bite.
I don't mind the bite. I just, if I ranked it, it'd be I could do almost a whole ranking just on Cokes. But I would say plastic bottle, and then ice cold can, then any fountain, McDonald's Coke, Mexican Coke is king of the mountain every single time.
Okay, so let me throw in a couple honorable mentions here. What about RC Cola? Where do you got that at? Because you're so much of a cola lover.
I liked it a lot better when I was in my 20s, and it's economical. I was like, I can spend 99 cents on that bottle of Coke, or I can get 2 RCs for the same price.
On that note, Faygo Cola is not that great.
No, it's not.
No, even for 69 cents for a 20 ounce, I'll pass.
There are 3 things you can drink of Faygo. They are vanilla cream, rock and rye, and Red Pop.
Yeah, I was going to say Red Pop's, I didn't know where to put it. I could have interchanged it with grape soda, but yeah, the Red Pop's pretty good too.
I don't know what that Moon Mist stuff is.
Yeah, it's kind of neither here nor there. It's not Mountain Dew and it's not Sierra Mist. It's kind of in between, so it's no man's land.
Maybe someone likes it. Obviously, someone's drinking it.
Yeah, I mean, I've dabbled in it, but it just doesn't do the job.
You've dabbled in it. But did you go through a phase in college?
No, it wasn't even a phase. Like I said, I just dabbled. It wasn't good enough to become a phase.
Are you a secret juggalo?
I've dabbled in Dr. M as well, which is the Meyer version of Dr. Pepper.
Isn't Walmart's like Mr. K or something? No, that's Kroger, I think.
No, it's something related to like Sam's Club or something. Like isn't it like Sam's?
Who knows?
Dr. Sam.
I don't mind all the off brands of the Dr. Pepper,
yeah, they're fun
to
fling with, once in a while as a as a hidden mistress behind the true wife, which is the Mountain Dew. And
oh man, this whole topic just went off the rails.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, though. So, we wanted to cover this. We wanted to get some real nerds out there to weigh in on this. Where were we wrong? Where were we right? And we'll have more of these later on.
All right. Take care. Well, that's our wrap-up of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Again, 2 thumbs up from me.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up from me. And then also the soda list. Love to hear comments and feedback there. I know Michael went a little nuts with his list. I don't know where he got off putting some of those so high and so low, but not everybody's perfect.
My list is definitive. It's just that simple. Our next topic, next episode, we're going to be going not a full retrospect of this part of the year. We're going to look at maybe the first third of the year. A lot of geek stuff has come out already. So what do we like so far? What is best movie, best show we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, we do a end of the year award show, and I think having done our first one last year with about a half year of episodes, we want to make sure we don't forget about the stuff early in the season, which is always a problem with the end of the year kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about what's happened so far and put some early front runners on the TV and the movie side in there.
Exactly. We're also going to touch base on Star Wars Episode 8. It was just the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. Kind of a big geek holiday.
Yep, and then Vanity Fair did a big article about Episode 8 with a bunch of set photos and things like that. So we'll touch on that a little bit and talk about some maybe expectations or some wish list items for Episode 8 that Michael and I have.
I think we'll also talk about Mark Hamill's leading quote that's been kind of burning through the internet lately about how he disagreed fundamentally with everything that Ryan Johnson wanted to do with Luke. So we'll touch base on that. And then last but certainly not least, we just want to pay our respects to Roger Moore, who passed this week. For those of you that grew up probably in the 70s and 80s, like I did, for me, he was the definitive James Bond when I was a kid. It wasn't until later that I realized he was kind of tongue-in-cheek with his portrayal of Bond. I always thought, oh, he's James Bond. That's who it is. But now that I've gone back and seen the Connery films and George Lazenby, Timothy Dalton, everyone has been Bond. He was Bond. He was maybe not the best, but he definitely put his own flavor on the character.
Yep, he was before my time. I mean, I kind of was aware of the Bond movies when they had a hiatus, and then they came back with Pierce Brosnan, I believe. So
yes.
I know of him as James Bond, but I didn't really have any experiences with him, so I don't really have too much to add there.
And with that, once again, a reminder, you can email us at WNRDpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that's WNRDpodcast@gmail.com. Also find us on Twitter, same handle. It's at WNRD Podcast on Twitter. So it's twitter.com/WNRD Podcast. You can find most recent episodes up at SoundCloud. That's at soundcloud.com/WNRD. And of course, all our episodes in perpetuity. I don't know why I always try to say that. They're going to be up there forever as far as we know. Just search WNRD Podcast on YouTube, and you should find everything we've done this far.
Yeah, one quick note I wanted to put in there was on SoundCloud, we can only upload a couple latest episodes. That you can download those there. But if for any reason you are going on a trip or anything like that, just have a boring job at work, and you want to download the old episodes, you can just email us or hit us up on any of the things that Michael just talked about, and we can email you out the MP3 files of the old episodes if anybody actually wants to archive them or do anything.
We've saved them all. Everyone's archived.
So that's it.
That's it. Thank you much, and we'll be seeing you.